Yo, what up, hip hop? This is the Bars Lounge, and I'm your host, Bars Lounge Preem. And today, who do we have on the set?
It's your boy Iceburg Snub, Roxbury Zone, Boston God, Boss Don, Almighty God.
Iceberg. This has been a long time coming. This interview, man. I'm happy that we finally got to make it happen, man.
Yeah,
So we're just gonna get right into it, man. Tell the people where you from,
from Boston, Roxbury, Mass. To be exact.
Iceberg, and tell us what was it like coming up for you in Boston? Like, what were your experiences in Boston, and what was it like for you?
And growing up in Boston, in the city, I grew up in a town where, like, before the city got gentrified, in my area, Boston was majority Latino and Black. So I grew up in the culture of the Black era. It was extremely violent. Saying that some of that stuff I incorporate in my music. You know what I'm saying? Some of that stuff made me who I am today. So,
Yeah, I can tell that in your music. Your music is full of cautionary tales. It's full of redemption. You talk about a lot of things in your music. So your experiences in Boston, they translate into your music. And what is your creative process? Tell me about your creative process for the music, and how you draw from those experiences into the music.
well, my fault. Well, I was really out there. So, through all the trials and tribulations and through the grace of the Most High, I'm here today. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I deliver positive message through my music from my experience. You know what I'm saying? From some of the things I went through coming up. I went through a lot. You know what I mean? I lost a lot of people, been shot, been inside the system. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here today. You know what I'm saying? So I try to put more of a positive message in my music. So that helps me with the creative part of my music. You know
Absolutely, and that's something that you can tell in the records because, like I said, you have some records that are you talk about your experiences. You have some records where you're talking to, how to treat the women the right way.
what
You talk about kids. You talk about your kids in the music. So you can there's many levels and layers to your music. And that's one thing that I can relate to. It's music that the average person can relate to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
People miss a lot on records I do for the females too, man. yeah,
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 it's true. And Boston has a rich hip hop history, right? I mean, from Benzino, Ed OG, and the Bulldogs.
Guru.
It's a rich history.
Yeah,
Why is it? There's not many people from Boston. If you think about the industry and you look at hip hop historically, not many people from Boston have been out there, and there's so much talent out in Boston. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that they keep Boston out? Like, what's
it's the way my city's designed. Boston's not a hip hop city. You know what I'm saying? It is a hip hop city, but Boston's not a music city. They're not really supporting music. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the old school b-boy hip hop still exists in Boston. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain people that control hip hop in Boston that won't let certain artists be exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like I got love for my city, but that's one of the reasons why I had to get outside the city. You know what I'm saying? To create a buzz for myself. To put my hood and my city on a global platform. You know what I'm saying? I had to step
yeah?
outside. Yep.
I mean, because you think of Boston and you think about that hip hop scene. You think about Benzino, the Source magazine. You like I said before, Ed OG and the Bulldogs, which you've collaborated with before, right? You have a documentary out with actually Ed OG and the
Yeah,
Bulldogs.
I got a track with the Pioneer LOG. And Zeno also brought me to the Source Awards, man. So I got a chance to see when I was young that it was really that this music thing was really obtainable. Seeing niggas like Zeno and RSO and Made Men, niggas that I artists and niggas that I seen in my city on a day-to-day basis do it, I knew it was possible. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Zeno for taking me out there to see that. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
One thing that I like about your music is, like I said, bringing it back. There's so many layers, and there's so many things to it. But you, like, as a person, right? I look at your social media and I look at hip hop as a whole right now, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're a father. We're fathers. We have fathers. We have kids that and you promote your kids on social media. You when they achieve things, you big them up, and that's something that I admire about you, because not many people do that. Many people right now are glorifying having money. I got this, the
Yeah.
jewelry, and you're the opposite. You're like, you're celebrating your child. You know, like you came down to Orlando to perform one time. You had your kid on stage, man. That was beautiful. You know, where do you where do you get that inspiration to do that as opposed to everybody else and what they're doing? You know?
Our kids always been a part of the music from the day one, so they're also a part of my image. And when we was in Orlando, I was doing my thing, but I actually didn't plan for my son to come up there, man. That happened organically. He's always around when I'm creating music. You know what I'm saying? He knows the lyrics, so he took it upon himself to come up there and be my hype man. But it was also dope that my son could recite my lyrics. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It felt good. I mean, so most of the time when I'm creating my music, I'm thinking about the younger cats. I'm trying to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I don't sound like other cats because I'm setting different standards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was dope. When I saw that video and I saw, I'm like, now, you know, a lot of these guys, they don't do that. You know, they don't, they're not doing that. They don't post their kids on social media, and
They hide it. They hide it. Some of them are not doing right, but the ones that do have feelings, they hide their shit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your creative process, man, because you're one of the hardest working independent artists that I know. You're working on one project, that project drops, and you're already promoting the next one. You know, what's your creative process, and how do you when you're working on a project, you're getting one done, you already have a theme, and you already have the way the next project's gonna go. What's the creative process?
Shit. I look at this shit like I'm telling timelines of my life. You know what I'm saying? So every project is like a chapter of my life. And I could just be riding with my family. We could be out eating at a buffet or something, man. And I could just be gathering my thoughts. And it's just I got to set up in the crib. Once I get here, bro, I just record. And like I've heard before in the past, if it only takes 5 seconds or 5 minutes or 5 seconds to do it, just do it. So once I get a track, I'm on it. Once I'm on it, someone send me a beat, Donnie or something, I'm on it. I mean, that's how I create. And a lot of this shit, not to put that out there, I'm not even writing, man. I'm coming off the top. Like I'm in the lab right now. So when I do whatever I feel like going on, I'm just going in.
Yeah, man. I've been following you for a long time, and the trajectory from, you know, like, you were always nice, even from the beginning. When I first found you, this guy was nice. I started listening to the music. I followed you, but from then it's been a couple of years from now, and just the trajectory, it's, you know, the style is always changing, it's always fresh, it's always creative. You know, it's never the same, you know, and that's something that I like. And there's a lot of records that you have. Like, one of my favorite things from the series is the Marvin series.
Yeah.
And I liked how you set that up, because you set that up from project to project to project. Each one had a different, you know, and it was that was creatively, that was beautiful. Like, I dig that, man. That's one of my favorite, you know.
Yeah, everybody likes that. They ask me if Marvin's a real person. I always tell them like Marvin's the average cat in the hood, the average grimy cat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows a Marvin. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it started out with Deadbeat Donnie. You know what I mean? The first three Marvins and shit, and then Best One stepped in, and we continued off with Dandy Boy. And actually, I'm not even done with the story, man. I'm gonna continue going, man.
Well, that's great, because that story, man. You know, that's right. Everybody knows a Marvin in the neighborhood. I know a couple of Marvins in the hood. You know,
Yeah.
Best One. You mentioned Best One, man. You know what? I always say, you and Best One, you guys are like the dynamic duo, man, because the chemistry that you guys have, man. Best One's production, and then with you come on board, that's you guys craft magic every time you link up, man, and that's, you know,
Yeah,
it's
shout out to Best One.
shout out to Best One. That's right, and Deadbeat Donnie too. You know,
Shout out to Debbie Donnie as well, man. Me and Debbie Donnie be killing them too.
yeah,
And Best One, he's an in-house producer. Like me and him locked in a few years ago. I've always been keeping my style, but I was just rapping off the beats that I was getting. And I always said I wanted to get a producer that created the sound that I was looking for. And Juan just came out of nowhere, bro. He was a blessing, man. We just been locking and killing him. So he has a lot to do with what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like he gives me the soundtrack to my story.
yeah, and it's perfect. You know, they mesh well. Your style with his production, it meshes well, man, and it makes for great music, because I mean, there's plenty of music out there to go back to prove my point that it's, you know, it works. It works. So
We, we, call, ourselves Elijah and Farad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, You know what's another record? Another one favorite record of mine. Straight Up Menace with Blix. I love that record, man. That hook.
Shout out to Blix, produced
Yeah,
by Maestro Z. I met Maestro in LA, man. He's a real humble cat, cool dude, man. Shout out to Maestro and Blix. He's actually from San Francisco, so he came out here in Atlanta. And we recorded that on 48 Hours in ATL in one day. I had already had the tracks lined up, and he just sat here and we zoned out. We completed the project in one night. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Blix.
so Boston to Atlanta. That was a move that you made. What made you make that move?
Really, man, I've been coming out to the A since 2000, and most of the music I grew up listening to, bro, even though I'm from up top, I know all the East Coast music, Queensbridge era, everything that came out, you know what I'm saying? I was really a big fan of Master P, No Limit, Cash Money, and on UGK and all that. So, like, my Southern background, my peoples and all that, just something always drew me to the South. I came down to visit a few times. I didn't really know if I was going to be able to see this again and come back, but by the grace of the Most High, I was able to move my family down here. You know what I'm saying? The move I made wasn't really about music. It was either chest and checkers. Either I stayed or been locked up or got tricked on the street or been killed or whatever the circumstance would have been. But I just felt like it was the best move for me and for my kids. I knew I did music, so as long as I did right by them, everything else would fall on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come chasing music, but I knew it was here, and it is here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Atlanta has a rich hip hop scene over there. You know, I mean, Atlanta's been controlling the game for some years now. You know, first New York had it, it went to the West, and now Atlanta's had this chokehold in the game for a long time. So it's like a rich, it's bubbling down there for hip hop. You know,
Mm-hmm. Shout
how
out to
do
all my
you?
Atlanta niggas.
Yeah, how do you find it there as opposed to Boston? Like, how do you find that music scene?
Well, here's a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody really coming to Boston. You know what I'm saying? They coming through probably for games and collaborate with artists. But as far as the scene being there, Boston doesn't have a music scene. Atlanta really does have a music scene. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of networking out here. I fuck with a lot of niggas out here. And they show me love since I've been here. Because I come out with a positive energy and I move through. I'm supposed to move through and I pay homage and show respect to places that I be at. So I get the same type of love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shout out to my little niggas.
that's a fact. I mean, you can't go to a place that you're not from or you're new. You can't move how you move when you from. You know, like what happened to Ross in Canada. You know,
Yeah.
they got into an altercation, and same
Yep.
thing when Pac caught Jay-Z in the hotel in Vegas slipping. You know, you're not from
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. You got to pay that respect because if not, the locals are gonna come for you. You know, but you carry yourself that way. You know, that's how. You know, when I first met you, that's one thing. Another thing that struck me about you, you were so humble, and it was our any my initial interactions with you were always respectful. You know what I mean? And that made an impression on me as well. And it's in the music too. Like if you listen to the music, it's in the music. Like it's authentic. The music that it's authentic to who you are, and that's something that means a lot to me because when I'm invested in an artist, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for talent, but I'm also looking for authenticity.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how do you feel like today's game? Today the hip hop game is cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
The sound that there's barely no creativity, right? You're a creative. Do you feel like because my producer and my bro Chrome, me and him were having a conversation, and he was telling me, Pete, the game is shifting right now. The game is going back to creativity. That sound is on its way out. If you're not noticing it, right? Do you feel like that's what's happening? Do you see a transition in the game right now?
Yeah, I definitely do, man. I'm starting to have fun again, man. It's starting to feel exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a rush out of the music I make, and I see a few other artists being creative and stuff like that. What's going on is going on, but it's still artists like myself that exist. You know what I'm saying? That keep the culture living. We're pushing forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me that type of music never went out of style. I mean, I don't knock the new generation because the new generation is going to do it how they're going to do it. You know what I mean? In the 80s, in the 90s, the 80s rappers were mad at the 90s rappers for what they were doing. Now in the 2000s, the 90s rappers are mad at the 2000s. You can't, every generation is going to do it how they're going to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't get mad at that. But for me, this type of music, it never left the style for me. I never stopped listening to it. I
Yeah.
listen to some of the new kids, but this
Yeah,
mainly,
I give them an ear, but I've never stopped listening to what we came above neither, man. Sometimes
yeah,
I go back to that a lot. I
me
listen to a
too.
lot of that, man, you know what I'm saying? But me being an artist and me being older than a lot of these artists, I'm not dumbing down who I am. I just want them to look into what I'm doing. So I'm leading by example and setting standards. That's why the music I make is how I make it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do drill, which I'm not, but I can do whatever I need to do to sell or get noticed. But I'm gonna keep it original. I'm gonna keep it me. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I can lead some cats in the right direction and they don't make the same mistakes that I've had in the past. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm in a position to be heard, so I'm gonna say the right shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Describe your sound. Like, how would you describe your sound?
Me and Wall call it grimy soul.
Grimy soul.
Yeah,
Facts.
like
Yeah.
grimy soul, man.
Yeah, because you got your style, your catalog is so versatile. You know, there's so many different. You
Yeah,
know, one minute you're talking about the dangers of the street, and the next minute you're talking about uplifting your woman and treating her right. And
yeah,
that's something that a lot of the music, you don't hear a lot of that. You don't hear it. You know what I mean. You don't see it. You know, and you that's what I see when I see you, you know. And when I look at your Instagram and you're posting your kids' achievements, you're taking your kids out on stage, you know, you're bigging them up when they do something great in school, and that's something that that's something that's refreshing to see, especially in the era and the way things are now with hip
nah,
hop.
right. I'm a reality rapper, man, and that's my reality. Like every day, I'm trying to become a better version of myself, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also showing that through my music, showing my growth through my music. Bro. That's what's going on, man. And I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? I've been with my old lady for almost 20 years, man. You know what I mean? So it's a reality, and I feel like the same thing I'm doing, other cats can do as well too. So trying to show that example. So I put a lot of that out there. A lot of cats show money. A lot of cats show their cars.
Hmm.
So my kids, y'all are the ones that I show. You know what I'm saying? I put them up there because of that reason.
That's why you stand out to me. That's why you stand out because you know it's
That's why I do that, man.
yeah. So what are you working on now? Were you working on any new projects?
Well, I just dropped Young OG Part Two, Part One out too, entirely produced by Bach Phase. I got Blix on there, and I got a track produced by Best One. And shout out to Heron Yusuf. He's another counter. We got a joint called I'm Leaving. That's crazy. You know, shit. I got Guru that's was out before that, entirely produced by Best One.
Yes.
That's going crazy. The video, I got a video out off that called Nobody Else, produced by Best One and shot by Visual Keys. That's a video director for my city. I've been doing this thing, so shit, I'm working. I got a lot of shit in the store. Me and Sidney Portier just dropped a joint called Raising in the Sun.
Yes.
I'm on D&T's new project that just dropped today. We got a joint called Four Finger Rings. Um, I'm on a lot of joints. But I got a lot of stuff in the works.
Going back, you know, I noticed that a while back you were dropping videos, and you know you had a lot of videos to accompany your songs, and then for a little while you just stopped. There was no you're pumping out music, of course, because like I said, you're one of the hardest independent artists out. You're always grinding, you know, you're always working on something.
Yeah, yeah.
But you picked up on videos. What happened? Why did you stop dropping videos? Like you took a break from it? Like what was?
Well, one reason was I had a cameraman that I was doing videos with for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he tapped in with me down here once he got on with Boosie because he's shooting videos with Lil Boosie right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
Once he got in the situation with Lil Boosie, he kind of curved me a little bit, bro. But a nigga like me just keep moving and shit like that. But one thing I say is like, if you can get yourself in situations and open them doors, why come through me?
Yeah.
Why come through me? But like I said I don't never really speak on that, but that's why I slowed down from doing videos because I wanted to do professional videos and stay on the level that I was on. You know what I'm saying? But as of recently, people just want to see you. So I've found other ways to get visuals done. You know what I'm saying? So I stepped back in the loop. That's all it is. I've been dropping videos for the last past months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and it was good to see because for a while, that you know, like I said, for a while you were just dropping music, and now new visuals, and the visuals are dope, by the way. Like I, you know,
Appreciate
definitely
that.
the music is dope, and then the visuals accompanying it just set every, you know, makes the full package, you know.
Yeah.
So, Young OG Part Two, huh? Are
Yeah,
you how far are you into it already?
Oh man, I've been getting some good feedback, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dropped a track called Sacrifice. That been going crazy on the radio right now. The whole project just dropped on the day before yesterday, and it's going up. It's going up. I'm just letting it build momentum, and that's it. Voting. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a feature run, as you can see. I'm on a lot of
Yeah.
projects, man. So real talk, I just been dropping tracks, working. And me and Wall got some more work in store too.
Shout out to Best One, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to Deadbeat Donnie's another freaking collaborator of yours.
Dirty Ohio, shout out to Debbie Donnie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost about that time for me and him to drop too again, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and yeah, those projects that you drop with Deadbeat Donnie are fire too. He's a dope producer too.
Yeah,
You know,
shout out to Debbie Donnie, man.
yeah. So what else can we expect from you in the future? Like, what more do you have in the works?
More visuals, of course, man. More music, stuff like this. I'm thinking about dropping a podcast. You know what I mean? Um, Dropping more features, more art, more murals. My clothing line, TBS, more tees, all that. You know what I mean? More collaborations. You know, just expect more art, more for the culture. Culture. I'm pushing the culture forward.
Yeah, definitely. I see the graffiti in the background, man. You were a graffiti writer before?
Yeah, man. You know, I still write graffiti, actually, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
me
Yep.
too. I go bombing on paper all the time.
That's what. It never leave out of us. Okay? That's the elements of hip hop, man. One of the elements. Yep.
So let me bring it back a little bit really quick. Iceberg Snub. What's the acronym for Snub?
Strength, nature, unity, belief.
That's a dope name, man. Because when you hear the name, you hear Iceberg Snub, you think one thing, but meanwhile, you flip it and it's something completely different, and it just speaks to your music and the individual that you are. You know,
Yeah.
I posted a video of you when you broke that down. From I think you had the documentary, and I took that clip and I
Yeah.
posted it up because I thought that was when I heard that and I saw that clip. I'm like, yo, this is dope right here. You know, the name is dope, Iceberg Snub. You think one thing, but then you listen to the music and then you break down that acronym is something completely different. You know,
Yeah,
and
that's why I did that. Not to cut you off. That's why I did that. I kept it raw because I didn't want to remember. I didn't want to forget where I came from, but I also wanted to show my growth. So that's why I came up with the acronym. You know what I'm saying?
it's a dope acronym, man. I love the name, man. And like I said, it speaks to your music and you know, because your music touches a wide variety of things. It touches the street, it touches, you know, love life, it touches kids, and touches redemption, which is the most important thing, you know.
Yeah. Just like that DVD that you're talking about, my documentary. A lot of people in that documentary are not around anymore, bro. So I have a hard time watching that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And yeah, and every time I do get a glimpse of it, it keeps me motivated to keep pushing forward. You
you came out in the news, right? In Boston, when you were young, when you were younger, you came out in the news, right? That there was a report they were doing in your neighborhood, and
know what I'm saying?
they had showed you young with your peoples.
Yeah, I was in a few of those like real life documentaries, like real hood shit. Not even scripted, organic shit. Just being a youngster, being in the hood. Because I come from one of the most notorious hoods in Boston. I come from Blue Ave. If anybody ever seen the movie Blue Ave, that's my neighborhood. I come from a block off there called Iceburg Street. Like one of the first Nation of Islam mosques was on the corner of my street where Malcolm X and them came from. Like Farrakhan's actually from my neighborhood. Farrakhan's from Roxbury. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't know that, but Farrakhan, he came from Boston. He just moved to Chicago. So I grew up around seeing the nation and all that stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what molded you, and you know, those things they mold us, and you
Yeah.
know,
That's what
they
did.
shape us, and in one way, whether traumatic experiences or you know,
It was a little bit of all that. It was a little bit
yeah.
of all that. Yeah.
Can
Like
you talk a little bit about that?
they always say, man, what changes a person is prayer and circumstances, man. Your circumstances and life are humbling. You know what I'm saying? So I went through my trials and tribulations as a youngster, man. I bumped my head a lot, and that's why I push the message I do through my music. Hopefully, I can show younger cats not to make the same mistakes, and that they also can take the steps that I've done in my life to get to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's beautiful on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
it is. It is, and sometimes you know, we don't see past our neighborhood. We don't, we don't think that the world is bigger than our neighborhood.
Oh, it's way bigger than our
I
blocks.
remember when I traveled, I made no mistakes. Like I went to when I started to travel and first left Brooklyn and went somewhere. I went with that Brooklyn mentality, and people are looking at me like, "Chill, you're not in Brooklyn anymore." So
It's good to have that mentality too. That mentality as well helps you survive. That guides us to new places where we go to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, bro. So
I never that's never left me, man. Even still now, I carry. I'm gonna tell you, we were talking about Orlando, and I went to an event with Thurston Howell. It was for his birthday party, and when I first got there, like I said, my head was on a swivel, and I was
shout
walking
out to
around. But
Thurston.
that event was so, yeah. Shout out to Thurston Howell. That event was so many dudes in the building, and you would think with so many dudes in the building that there would be something popping off, man. And the whole event was peaceful, and I was kind of shocked, because I'm used to going somewhere and things happen. Oh, there's a fight right there, or somebody's getting jumped over there. You know what I mean? Or somebody's
Right.
about to
Right. Yep.
come back, and
Yep.
and it was like a refreshing thing, right? And that's redemption, that's growth in individuals, right? That's
Yeah.
what that is, right?
Yeah. The God showed me love as well at the event out in Orlando that I was at, and then I just felt like it was because it was older cats. Like the group of people that I was around were cats that were my age. There wasn't no younger cats there. And me
Yeah,
being from Boston, being around cats from the Bronx and from Brooklyn and shit like that, I knew it could have went left, but it was all love. Like, all love. The God showed me nothing but hospitality and love, bro.
yeah, and it was a great event. Let me ask you, do you ever see yourself going back to Boston?
Yeah, but if I went back to Boston, I wouldn't be the same snub I was before I left. Like when
Yeah,
I go back, I want to uplift, mentor, help the youth. You know what I'm saying? And give back in a positive way. Because I once was a part of the destruction at Boston. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, I once was a part of the destruction. I just want to be able to go back and give back in a positive way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's an important. That's something, I see a lot of some people do that, and it's great when they do that and go back and they have that point in their life when they make a change and then they go back and they give back.
I can't wait to give back. That's one of the things I look forward to doing. You know what I'm saying? I can being in a position to do that.
Yeah, especially for the youth,
Yeah, definitely.
especially for the youth.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So, Snub, it's been real. I really appreciate you taking the time to rock them. This is my first interview, man. I really appreciate you.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
locked in.
Yep.
Tell the people all your socials and where they can find you.
It's your boy Iceberg Snub. ICEBURGSNUB on all streaming music platforms. You can find me on Bandcamp. Search my YouTube. Check out my latest videos. Go download all my projects and purchase all my projects. I humbly appreciate all the love and support. Shout out to Best One. Shout out to Donnie, Debbie Donnie. Shout out to Bart Phase. Shout out to all the artists that I fuck with. Shout out to Blitz. Shout out to Tyron. Shout out to Nonchalant Zay. Shout out to Mac Montana. Shout out to Saga. If I missed anybody, know how I feel. Y'all already know how I'm rocking. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to Bars Lounge. I appreciate all the wise words and encouragement, my brother.
Appreciate you too, man. You're definitely you definitely inspired me to pop out and do this. Watching you work and watching you hustle, and you chase your dream. It inspired me to do this too because you know I have friends who were like, "Yo, you should start making videos, just to start, do a
Nah, you right
podcast."
on time. You right on time. And then you know the culture, man. You the perfect person for this job, man. You right on time, man. It's an honor being a part of your platform, God.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I appreciate having you. I'm honored to have you here. And I'm honored that you're my first guest,
Oh, that's dope. That's
One
what I
thing
did for that. Love,
thing
love.
I
Honor.
love unsigned independent artists. I don't rock with mainstream music. Mainstream music, it's diluted. They're not. I love this right here. I love the independent scene. I love the unsigned scene because the music is organic, it's pure, and it's authentic. And I think you represent all of those things. And it's in the music. Everybody should run out and do a deep dive and check out all this man's music, man, because all the music is great. You're not gonna be disappointed, man.
It's your boy Iceberg Snub.
Snuff,
Humble
we
all the
gotta
love.
do this again, man. When you got another project
We
coming,
just get started, God. Most
for
love.
sure, for sure. So, yo, thank you for rocking with me. Peace, everybody. This is the Bars Lounge. I'm Bars Lounge Preem.
Boy Snub. Uh-huh.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, Snub. Let me see. Make sure that I save it correctly this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if it cuts off abruptly, I'm gonna hit you on the phone. All right.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.